If you're like the thousands of individuals who didn't know what the heck happened after last time we were in court, let me catch you up to what YNW Melly's lawyer response was right here.
YNW Melly's attorney, Raven Liberty, has issued the following statement regarding today's delay announcement. We're disappointed that today's hearing was yet another win for the state of Florida, allowing more time to subject my client to inhumane treatment. Melly has spent 7.5 years in prison without conviction, and the new trial date announced by the court would mean 9 years incarcerated awaiting his trial without conviction. If this denial of basic constitutional rights was not outrageous enough, most of this time has been spent in solitary confinement in conditions worse than death row. Every American should be concerned about this abuse of the justice system and basic constitutional rights at the hands of the Broward Sheriff's Office. Harold Pryor and his team of prosecutors. While we expect Broward prosecutors to continue procedural tactics to delay a trial, my client is still guaranteed a speedy trial once jurisdiction is relinquished back to the trial court by the appeals court. That means the trial must start within 60 days after the appeals court renders their decision. Following the filing, the appropriate pleading, Mr. Demings is ready for trial. And we do not expect he will need to wait until 2027 to secure his freedom.
All right, let's bring you right back in. So there is that. But today we have massive losses for YNW Melly. I'm going to keep it authentic. I'm going to put the paper up and I'm going to just basically walk y'all through everything that you need to know to be caught up before we give you our final opinion here. Sounds fine? All right, let's go. So basically what you're looking at today, man, is that Florida's 4th District Court of Appeals granted the state's request, right? So that got filed way back on the 4th, and then it consolidated 3 related appellate cases. That's 4D 2025, 2003, 4D 2025, 2238, 4D 2025, 2239. This basically means all those matters are about to be handled by the same judicial panel. So Melly's team basically filed 3 petitions for writ of certiorari, or certiorari, however in which you say that, to force the state to turn over certain warrants and related evidence to this case. The appellate court denied all 3 petitions. You struck out 3 damn times, said the trial court acted within its discretion and did not violate the law in how it handled discovery. So that means there's still a blanket stay on all trial proceedings, meaning nothing moves forward at trial until the appellate issues are resolved. Because of the stay, Melly's team can't even force the state to hand over contested evidence. Liberty gonna say, oh, now they finna file a motion with the 4th DCA to carve out the state from the stay, which basically can let them continue the discovery while the appeal is pending, but we'll see how that goes. She's been taking all type of L's. And then with her basically saying this is great news, yeah, hell nah. The stay is still gonna hold you back. She's planning to go ahead with procedural moves to keep the case moving despite the current halt, and, you know, that's just what it is. But the bottom line is the appellate court just gave the state a win by consolidating its cases and denying Melly's discovery request. The retrial remains on hold, but Melly's team is still strategizing to work around the pause so that they can still get evidence from the state. So there's that. But here's where it messes with the impact of the timeline, because I know you guys all watch the TVA. I should have put on a freaking shirt for that. That would have been hard. But because the 4th DCA has a blanket stay on all the trial proceedings, nothing can happen in the trial court. No jury selection, no evidence hearings, nothing until the appellate court finishes with the consolidated cases. And if you know, like we all know, appeals take months. Y'all remember what happened with Brian Steele and YSL, right? We didn't know that was a free man, that he wasn't going to be spending time in jail with Thug for a while. That made me take a shirt like, I'm ready to go and sit in jail with my homie. And I ain't going to hold you. Sometimes this crap can take up to a year. But it's going to probably take even longer because all 3 cases are combined. That's crazy. And even if Melly team files the carve out motions like Liberty mentioned, there's no guarantee it even gets approved, meaning the evidence fight could really stay frozen. She's been taking L's in this court. So realistically, this could push the retrial well into late 2026 or even 2027 if the appellate proceedings drag and the state continues using procedural tactics, which they have. The state successfully blocked Melly's attempt to force them to hand over certain warrants and related evidence now. This basically means Melly is stuck waiting, possibly using the momentum and giving prosecutors more time to prepare. And then they don't have the access to any contested discovery. The defense may go into trial way less prepared unless they win the carve-out motion or get those materials a whole entire another way. So she's going to have to kind of think outside the box. But here's probably the good thing, right? Consolidating all these appellate issues under one panel means a single ruling could clear up multiple roadblocks at once. If Melly's side eventually wins in the appellate court, it could speed up the pretrial phase later. but it also risks further delays. The state already showed that they can stall proceedings if the appellate ruling doesn't favor them. That's just what it is. So right now, this was basically a big ass win for the state and a setback for YNW Melly's team. The longer Melly sits in pretrial detention, the more pressure there is on him. Sometimes this is used by prosecutors to push certain type of plea deals, meaning he might go ahead and say, you know what, bruh, I ain't gonna hold you. Y'all gonna kill me. But we'll see, man. Raven Liberty, she probably got an ace or two up her damn sleeve. So her statement's talking about she gonna work with a workaround. Maybe, just maybe, YNW Melly gets another lawyer who specializes in this stuff. Just kind of how Diddy decided to grab Nicole Westmoreland and Brian Steele at the last minute. So, yeah, it is what it is. If you're one of those people who believe YNW Melly is just flat out guilty, you already know it, you seen it coming, you can hear the gavel hitting saying, hey, guilty, 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 guilty. If you are one of those individuals, all right, okay. So what you should be saying is, YNW Melly, bruh, you tripping. The average stay between execution is 14 years to 26 years as far as Florida goes before they execute you. So basically, you guys are saying, bro, listen, you're only going to have less than 30 years to live after that anyways. They're going to get you out of here by the time you're 50. You might want to chill, Kimasabi. They might give you a deal and you might get out in about 40, 50 years. You might want to take that since you just did 9 on the chin. You can say that and you can 100% be in your thoughts and think that that's a good deal. 100%. Because some people don't know that this is a death penalty case. I think some people forgot, bro. The state wants to take him up out of here. This ain't like ATK, Scotty, and Queso where you get 100 plus years and 100 plus years. And next thing you know, you're going to die an old man with the Department of Corrections written on your back. And you got a number and they're going to bag you and tag you and throw you somewhere down a landfill. Or, what's my man's name? TK, where basically we'll see you in 75 years. Nah. This the one. This a double homie. You feel what I'm saying? So I can understand people who believe he's guilty saying, yeah, bro, you might want to chill. But here's the uglier part of that. He's damn near in solitary confinement, meaning he ain't been around nobody, ain't seen nobody, ain't kicked it with nobody, ain't talked to nobody, ain't did a doggone jolly old thing. They often say this phrase, you judge a society on how it treats its prisoners. Because one of the things that is often said on this channel is true strength is in your ability not to do things. Those who would do the heinous things to us, if we turn around and act on heinous motives and heinous actions just to do a bit of revenge, we're no better than them. Though the reasoning how they got there and the innocence that they may have harmed, you could say, hey, bro, nah, this is what you get when you bite the bear. True indeed. So whichever way you want to lean on that, there you go. But I had to say this. The state is dirty. We do know that this case could basically go to 2028, right? Let me give you this chart that I created. If she gets the carve out motion from the 4th DCA, the court grants it in 1 and 2 months, and then discovery goes while appeals are going. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Hopefully that's like this month or next month. But it could go to October, December 2025. Defense finally gets contested warrants and other evidence. Pretrial hearings start. We'll see about that. Early 2026, appellate court issues rulings on the consolidated cases. If ruling goes YNW Melly's way, trial court picks a new trial date. Or mid-late 2026, jury selection begins. Retrial could start as early as this time next year, August, October 2026. Verdict possibly at the end of the year. And then the worst case scenario is that basically no carve out happens. No movement in the trial court because the blanket stay remains. The 4th DCA works through the combined cases slowly. But it's really, I don't know, bro. It seems like Florida, just the 4th district right now, it seems like they a little faster than everybody else. So the appeal decision could come down in probably like fall of this year. whatever the hell, or early 2027. And if the rulings are mixed or against the defense, they can mess around and do the exact same damn thing. They can say, you know what, we're going to go somewhere else. And that could happen. So if it's late 2027, realistic start date for a retrial under full delays and all that crap and everything like that, basically, we're going to be looking at getting started realistically in 2028. Just going to be honest with you. See? So now we have to sit back and we have to act as though we're interested parties, not necessarily family or friends or any of that crap here, but we do have to sit back and go, yeah, bruh, if he did do this, you get what you get. You deserve what you get. Part of this, and nobody wants to say it, is to basically be looked at as a deterrent for future people who may think about offing two friends while they sit in the car or killing people in general. The way that the crimes and punishments are supposed to go, or punishment, crime, whatever, and however you want to word it, it's supposed to be a deterrent. Remember, cut your hand off for stealing. That means everybody else will stop stealing. But the problem is people still kept stealing. So if you get this hand, you ain't get this one. It's not necessarily a deterrent. The way in which we ultimately defeat crime is in the inception that puts it in the mindset anyways. America is one of the places that claims to be pro-life. And if I didn't tell you my political affiliation, you wouldn't even know it. You couldn't even guess it. What I would say is that we have to get to a point where we protect the innocence of the youth so that way they can grow up. Do you ever sit back and go, damn, man, I hope the world don't kick this kid's ass. I hope this world doesn't give this kid the experiences I had. Man, I want to protect this child. You ever just seen a kid that was so fun and loving and seemed like, bruh, like they just got the spark of the world, and you just sitting back like, bruh, I will hate this world if they ruin that kid. That's the way it's supposed to be for all children, regardless of religion, regardless of color, regardless of creed, whatever in which the parent household situation, anything of that nature. So I get all of that. But back to the fact of the matter is this. The state is dirty. Dirty. I told you, what was it, Christie, something, whatever the hell, since she got kicked off, bro, they've been trying to basically plow through. And I ain't going to hold you. Raven Liberty kind of sucks because you lost 3 motions back to back to back. And it might be looked at as, a win because at least you guys are going through. There's no timetable on when in which the federal district judge or the district judge will say anything. There's no timeline. They could take forever. But she also runs the risk of them basically kicking it all out any damn ways. So while we sit here and we kind of feel bad for Melly, bro, I ain't gonna hold you. It's one of those situations where, dare I say it, we just gotta sit back and wait. Now, it could still, a lot of things could happen this month. It's still early in the month. We could still go ahead and get it cracking. And then, like I said in the previous clip, 60 days, they're going to have to do it. So, there you go for your speedy trial. Because it's not like YSL or YFN where you got 22 people and all that, and you say something slick like Doug Weinstein. Y'all remember Doug Weinstein telling the judge, well, me personally, I wouldn't have tried all these people. I'm like, Doug, hey, Judge Glanville about to fly off and hit you with that flying elbow. But to the case at point, YNW Melly, in a perfect scenario, as far as the court system goes, in its efficiency, it ends up getting done, and he comes back in October and gets on with it. So, I don't know. But y'all let me know if y'all want us to basically go up there and go to the trial and kick our feet up in the sand and beaches and stuff like that. Or if you don't. If we just sit here and give it to y'all just like this and basically not be persuaded by the defense or the prosecution because of how they are. But I want to know something. If this was a family member of yours that was YNW Melly, how would you feel about these conditions? Honestly. Then before you answer that, I want you to think about the victims and what they're going through as far as the family goes. And think about that. Then tell me your answer. I'd be curious to see. But hey, share to keep your people aware, subscribe, turn that bell, stay notified. You win this or this when we hit 300,000 subscribers, bro. 300K. I didn't know that people didn't know that. I wrote it pretty small. I'm gonna have to work on that. But yeah, 300K, bro. We already at 349. So we are at 51K away from the giveaway. Subscribe today. All you gotta do is help out. That's it. Like the video, comment. Even if you don't comment something that's freaking masterful or anything, just put, hey, I'm trying to win. Then you can put that there. It is what it is. So yeah, man, just go ahead, like button, subscribe, comment, turn on that bell to help out. So that way we can get to this. And then when we hit the 400, we just start giving away money out this goddamn thing. I appreciate you all for all that you do, honestly, man. For real, for real. This weekend, man, we tore up the internet. So I want to say thank you to you all. Even if you don't like me and you come here to say, you know what? I disagree with everything you say. I hate the Yankees. I hope not, because that would make you a loser, you bum.